The BookMobile is North Central Regional Library's BookMobile outreach program. It provides a public library experience to rural public schools, students, and staff. We take the BookMobile to communities that don't have a public library in their town, so there's limited access to public library resources. We have our public library mail order library system that can get books to those communities through mail, but this gets right into schools, gets students and teachers where they're at and families, and we're all about promoting reading and lifelong learning. So this is a great way to connect with large groups of the community in one spot.
Our public library is in Leavenworth, and some people here just don't even get there. We've got kids who live 30 miles the opposite direction as Leavenworth, so it takes them quite a while to get into town. The kids, for one thing, are so excited about the whole idea of the books are coming to us. Like, who else gets that, right? So they're really excited to also take the books home, read them with their families, bring them back. I think it's just the whole process.
Probably at like college or something.
Maybe. I think it's also kind of got a little bit of a story that goes with each one.
Perfect.
Food is probably not the thing. That's paper.
When the kids first come to school, if I don't talk to them about loving books or how we treat books, I see chaos. Or I see kids coming in like, I don't really care about that story. I don't even want to look at that book. Or they're just not really engaged. And so I have to really I have to motivate them in order for them to think that way. So I always start the year like, books are like our best friends. We treat them kindly. We put them in their homes where they belong. We don't step on them. We don't push them around. We don't throw them across the room and things like that. And they get it. They understand that. And so I think just setting it up that way, that they treat the books kindly and they become valuable like a friend. So we kind of start there, and that the more they are hooked into that idea, the more they want to learn what the book is teaching us, or they want to learn the words on the book. And so then when we are learning about letters and sounds and words and sentences during literacy time, they make that connection of, oh, if I read this and I learn this, I get to read that book someday by myself, which is really motivating for them.
Now, the common belief is third grade reading is kind of the key spot where we want all third graders to be reading. And I heard recently that they actually start planning for prisons by third grade reading rates, and those who are failing is kind of how much prison space to plan for. And so the importance of reading is really prominent in what we're doing here. In fact, it's the only homework that we give in our classroom. The homework is 20 minutes of reading every day, weekends, nights, all the way through college. Just read 20 minutes. It's that important, and that's the message we really direct out here. Students have a lot of free choice in the reading. It's really important to be able to say, hey, what you're interested in, be able to pick that out, and engage the students. I have a low student who's reading. She wants to read about horses. We find the books about horses for her. We have students who are reading really advanced. They want to go out and read big chapter books, and we let them go do that. That's important. That choice is what really makes it engaging.
You can learn, or maybe not learn, but hear adventure stories without having to actually leave from your house, go somewhere, go. It's a nice way to spread information. I like reading a lot.
Same. I think it's really fun because either way
either fiction or nonfiction, it's really fun because nonfiction you can learn about history, and fiction, it's things that might actually end up happening.
Maybe.
Like, for an example, the Bernstein Bears. It might come to life that bears start to talk.
Bears take over the world.
Probably said
I'm the king of.
Bearville.
How about you? Ones. You like the gold ones? I want for you to read.
The Bookmobile starts on the road at 7 a.m. every morning, so we back out of our garage and hit the road. Some of our locations are very far away. Our furthest is Orient, Washington, in the northeast corner of Ferry County, and that's about a 4-hour, 15-minute drive. So some of our trips are quite long each direction, and so we do a lot of driving, and then we have sometimes a limited amount of time at the school. We get there, set up quick, get all the classes through, and then get back to our garage.
I love the Bookmobile just as much as the kids. It is just kind of a special feeling. I feel like we are kind of special because we get the Bookmobile to come and some awesome staff members who are just as motivated and pumped up about the kids picking books, and they're super helpful. I love the whole feeling. There's nothing negative about it. So.
Well, we have a small library here, and it's a good collection. We really sorted through it and keep current books and exciting books. But as I said earlier, it's about kid interest. And we've got to be able to get books in the kids that are interesting to them. And the Bookmobile has professional librarians who pick out great books and stock the Bookmobile with that. And we don't have that here. We have great people with books, but they aren't librarians, they aren't trained that way, and we manage. But to have the skill and the quality of the library and the librarians from the Bookmobile coming gets the kids the books they need so that they can be motivated to read.
Sorry. Have you been waiting on me while I'm thinking about other things?
Oh, are these the only ones that are...
Well, there's some kids who might not have those resources at home, and for us to just provide that opportunity for them to take home any kind of book that they want and it's their interest, that's a huge benefit, and that's going to affect the rest of their lives. Versus if we didn't have anything, they weren't bringing anything home, that means there's not very much school to home connection. The learning more stays at school and not at home. But we want families to be involved in education. We think of the families as a partnership with us and the student, so we're more of a team. And for us to be doing all this work here and them not to be able to bring it home doesn't make sense. And so we want whatever we're doing here to be able to go home with the kids so that they can have that in their environment as well.
The North Central Regional Library in its early history began with bookmobiles. There was a bookmobile in Omak and one in Moses Lake and one in Wenatchee. And so there's a lot of folks throughout our service area who have great memories of the bookmobile coming to their community, right to their street. And I hear a lot of amazing stories of folks in our town who remember that as being a big deal in their childhood. We worked from that toward a mail order library system, and then 8 years ago started back with our new bookmobile. So So one great success story of the BookMobile program is Curlew community. At a time when a lot of public libraries are closing library branches, our system has opened 2 in the last several years. One of those is in Curlew, Washington, where the BookMobile served the school for 5 years, and the community got so excited about having increased access to public library resources that they worked to get a library built in their own
A lot of the
community.
books, they're just elephant and piggy, but sometimes they have other animals.
It's really exciting to see children be excited about books. It's fun to expose them to new kinds of books, to new materials. And what I love to see most is when students come back and they remember an author, they remember the area where they found a good book last time, and they want the next book in the series or the next book by that author. They start to connect with reading and take a proactive stance on seeking what they want.
That look good?
Alright, do you guys have anything else you want to say?
I love to read. The BookMobile is awesome.
Raise your hand up. And I love books.
Yay!
Didn't
Awesome.
raise them up high enough. Raise your other hand, Elliot.